Boop, 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 ba-doo, boop, boop, ba-doo, ba-doo. That's all we could do, or else we'll get copyright claimed.
Right?
What up?
You two will be like, hello? Copyright claim?
Yeah,
You're pulled for now.
Strike on your account. You only get 3.
Right? Consider this a warning.
Greetings and salutations. Hello.
You'll notice it's a little quiet today.
Yeah.
Because Lou's not here.
Yeah. Not even his German AI representative isn't even here.
She couldn't even show up.
Yeah.
Hating.
So it'll be a little different of a podcast this week, I think.
Yep.
I think Lou last week was just jealous when I was telling him about your dad answering the door and his chonies. I think he was a little jealous.
True. He missed out on that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, no, I'm going to go have fun and party on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like a weirdo.
No. So.
He might join us, though, depending.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's not looking hopeful.
Yeah, they have not even had, They were out doing things, him and his lady friend.
His lady friend.
And so he texted saying, we were supposed to be done in like 2 hours, and that was 3 hours. Now it's 3 hours ago. And we still have stuff to do.
Right?
So.
Whatever. That just means he'll listen to this and be super entertained. And tell his friends.
Mm-hmm. I learned so much about these guys that I never knew before.
Right? Shit. Well, there's only so much we can talk about without having Lou's input on some stuff. What did I do this week? Working.
Thunderbolts?
Nothing funny even happened. We did see Thunderbolts since the last time we podcasted, I believe.
We all have, actually, right?
Yes.
Because I saw it on Tuesday. You guys saw it on like Sunday or something, right? Like.
Yeah, we went Monday.
And then Lou saw it on Saturday night or something, right? Like
some shit, yeah.
So that happened.
I went to the dentist. That was fun.
Yeah. No cavities or?
No. So, what had happened was my gums look good. My teeth are clean, but I have these 2 old ass root canals on the top right.
Okay.
And I guess with their new fancy imaging machine, they're like, oh, you have abscesses like under them. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. But they don't hurt. There's nothing bothering me. So I don't know. Maybe they're scamming me, but I looked at it and it did look weird on the scans. But I'm not an x-ray guy, so.
But that's just replacing those fillings, or do they don't have to redo the root canal, because the root canal is done, right? Like,
yeah, it's usually done and done. So
they just got to redo.
I don't think it'll be a big deal. Yeah.
I mean, they'll drill it out, they'll fix whatever, put some medicine.
Yeah.
I think what they usually do is pack some medicine in there, or like line it with something, and then So not a big deal.
Reseal it. Yeah. Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we be sharks and just regrow that shit?
I know, huh?
Ugh.
Keep moving. Keep swimming.
Right? Just keep swimming.
I don't think I signed an NDA or anything, but there was a new game coming out put out by the developers of Conan Exiles called Dune Awakening.
Okay.
So it's like a survival kind of RPG. There's like a little bit of a story mode, but basically you like create your character and you pick their backstory, and the backstory gives you some abilities and gives you some branches for chat and stuff like that.
Right.
And then it drops you just on Arrakis, so you're on the main planet. But my understanding of the backstory, and there were other people that I was playing with that didn't have the same, like, didn't see the same things. But my understanding is basically, Paul Arrakis, not Paul Arrakis.
What's his face, the main character.
Yeah.
Trades.
Timothy Chalamet. Well, Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Bob Dylan is in the desert.
He has his tube up his nose, and there's worms everywhere.
Yeah. Has like a vision of what happens if his dad doesn't die, right? So if Count Atreides doesn't die, right? That his mom
was that Poe Dameron.
Yeah, Poe Dameron. Right?
Okay.
And then his mom like finds out that the doctor is like conniving, so then they bust the doctor. But then they're like, well, what happens then? So then they said, basically the fallout from that is that the Atreides never go to Arrakis, and the Harkonnen
Okay.
just basically kill all the Fremen, and then you show up, and I think now
Poor
like,
Zendaya.
but I think what happens is, so you show up and you're supposed to like do what Paul did, like
Right.
that's the goal or whatever, but it's kind of just a survival kind of Rust type of thing.
Okay.
Third person. It's, you start out and you have some quests, and the quests unlock different schematics that you can then use to like build a base and build weapons and build outfits and stuff like that. So this weekend was the beta for that, and yeah, it was fun. We played it a bunch on Friday and then a little bit yesterday. But
Do you get to play with your dick out like in Conan?
you can be naked. So right now, so the big trick is, if you get eaten by a sandworm, you lose everything on your person, including if you're on like a hyper bike. So eventually you unlock like a hyper bike that allows you. And one of the people we're playing with said, "Oh, I'm naked in the desert, boys." And we went, and my question was, sandworm? And he said, "Yep, sandworm." He took my bike too. So yeah.
So it is Bob Dylan in the
Yeah,
desert.
yeah, now he is Bob. No, actually he's Jim Morrison in the desert. He transitioned to Jim Morrison in the desert. So sounds like from the story he told, he did not refuel his bike, and his bike died in the middle of the desert between two. So like, of course, the sandworms, if you can make it to a rocky area,
Right.
they won't eat you.
They
But
can't
he
get
he was like, I'm a fucking baller and I have my bike, and then he's like in the middle of this huge area, and the bikes of course make a lot of noise. His bike dies, and the sandworm's just like, gotcha, bitch. You fucked around and now you found out. So yeah.
You fucked around and now your balls out.
Yeah, no shit. So yeah. So it was fun. We'll probably pick it up when it comes out. I think it's coming out for all consoles and everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, what I've heard about it, yeah.
So, but it's fun. I mean, again, character creation and kind of building your own path and that type of thing. They have like 6 different kind of classes that you could pick from, that you have like a skill tree to go through. Nice thing is that you can join like your friend servers, and everything that's on you and your spot where you're at as far as like the level goes will transfer with you.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but we had fun. It was a good time. So
That's
the
good.
beta, of course, ends tonight. So probably will not get any more time before with the podcast and everything. Won't get any more time in, but yeah.
That's all right.
Besides that, this week I got caught up on Andor. Got
Hell
caught up
yeah.
on Last of Us.
Where Ellie's going to be a dad.
Yeah.
And it melted down the internet.
Yeah. People, I don't know, dude. Like, just enjoy it or don't enjoy it. Like, if you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. Like,
yeah, just stop.
The amount of hate watching that happens with so many of these shows these days, like, it's just.
Yeah, I don't have time to watch anything out of hate. I don't have time for that shit. I need to watch shit that I like. If I don't like it, I'm out.
Right. And I'll fucking go watch YouTube. That's what I hate watch, is YouTube.
Right?
Because then you go, how did I just spend 3 hours watching guys like restore cars that they bought on auction? Like, you're just like, where did the fucking evening go? What did I do? I'm glad you finally updated.
Where did my pants go?
Yeah, I'm glad you finally updated your background, sir.
Yes, he finally came in. The monkey popcorn bucket finally came in.
Nice. Yeah, when we went to Thunderbolts, like, there were so many fucking popcorn buckets everywhere for all the different, like, just the regular metal ones, not even like the toy, like the.
Yeah, not even fancy ones.
Yeah, not even. It was just there was like 3 Sinners ones. I'm like, why do you need 3 different Sinners ones? Like, come on, like. I mean, the movie was great, but you don't need a blue one and a red one and the black one. Like, come on, guys.
Right? So, I love me some Michael B. Jordan. I don't need his popcorn bucket.
I don't need 3 Michael B. Jordan popcorn buckets. But yeah, it was kind of crazy, like how like they put you in the queue now, like at Regal. You have to like go through a queue because you don't just walk up to a concession stand. You have to go and wait for them to like.
I noticed that. What did we go see? Something was a while ago. We don't usually go to Regal, but we were this time. And I'm like, they're making me walk through the damn shopping mall up in this bitch.
Yeah. Because then everything, but they have like old ass shit too. They still had Brave New World stuff. I mean, I was like, they got like Funkos that are from like a year ago. I'm like, why they still got Little Mermaid stuff up in here? What's going on? Like,
Yeah, shit, what did we go watch? I don't even remember. Maybe it was Moana or something, Moana 2.
Probably, maybe Moana
But
2.
yeah, they still had shit from like Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a little weird, but all right.
Well, I watched
If somebody wants a Roman Coliseum.
I watched a Disney video yesterday, and the guy was walking around to just see what was left over from May the 4th.
Dude, I think I watched that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think I did.
hyper something, hyperspacing or hyper.
And he was
something.
like, "Oh, you couldn't make it here yesterday. Let's see what's still left." And he was asking Whitey about the popcorn buckets and shit.
Yeah, they had the majority of them.
Yeah.
They did. He didn't talk about the Jawa Sipper, but they still had the 501st helmet, and they still had the Death Star. The Death Star was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like most of the stuff was still there. Like, it didn't look like a bunch.
Yeah.
They still had the lightsaber. Saul lightsaber.
He went to Savi's,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they still had that. He went to Savi's. Like, yeah, no, we still got it.
Yeah, he went to the droid
new
depot.
One.
They didn't have the droid, the mouse droid popcorn bucket was the one thing I think he said he couldn't.
It's not a popcorn bucket, dude. It is a remote controlled to scale.
Oh,
1:1 scale. He's only $100.
Wow.
I'm gonna buy that bitch next time I see it.
Well, I think he was at Disney World because he was going to some shops that weren't at Disneyland.
Yeah, he started a Tatooine Trader. I'm like, the fuck is that? That sounds like some Disney World shit.
Well, because he didn't say I'm going to Disney World, and they didn't have him like driving in. He's just like, I'm here.
It's like, I'm here, Tatooine Traders.
Yeah.
Okay. What park you at?
Yeah, exactly. Just tell me where you're at, or give us a graphic with like a pin saying Orlando.
I don't subscribe to you, sir.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good video.
But yeah, dude, that when we saw the mouse droid on the 4th, that box is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's got to be like $300, right? I didn't even bother looking. My big one was curious about it, so she looks like, it's only $100. I'm like, no, not now, because it's May the 4th. I just bought a $350 Star Tours speeder, so I'm using
with full video.
My May allowance is it's dwindling.
Yeah. We had a good laugh in our chat because what was it? Somebody said they bought something, but it was fine because it was their May money and not June or not
exactly.
April. And I go, oh shit! My podcast buddies talk about that all the time. They're like, the statement is cut off. I'm good. This is all May now. all my allowances have reset.
Exactly.
But
no. So then I watched a video on it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, but does it go, and it does. And then that little scream it gives when Chewbacca yells at it, it does that too. I'm like, sold.
Whee!
And it's a USB rechargeable too.
Oh, nice.
Even better.
So you don't even have to put butters.
Yeah.
You don't got to put butter in it. You can just.
Yeah, I don't have to butter it up at all.
Not at all.
Just plug that shit into the wall, raw.
You got to grease it up before you can charge it. Yeah, so that video was interesting. It looks like a lot of the stuff from the 4th, besides like he didn't talk about the pins and stuff, so I think it was he was mostly just a merch guy, it seems like.
Yeah, like the shirts and stuff.
The AT-AT seemed pretty cool.
It did, right? Like I wasn't even interested in it till he showed it a couple times. I'm like, oh, that's kind of badass.
Well, I mean, you get like 12 mini. I mean, I haven't been interested in that. We haven't talked about that line of that toy line at all. The action
Micro Galaxies
collection or something like that. Yeah. But the
AT-AT I did buy the Ghost from that line.
Yeah, the AT-AT looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it came with like 12 little minifigs too. So
yeah, I wonder if they still have it on the Disney store.
But yeah, so I think he did a good job of like going through and talking about kind of the box.
Everything.
I mean, pins. The problem with talking about pins, even in videos like that, is like it's so hit and miss because you can go to one store and they'd be like, "Oh no, sorry, we're out." Well, he went to like 7 stores, so like I'm not gonna walk up everyone with the video and be like, "You got these pins?" Like,
yeah, no, don't be annoying, bro.
I'm sure they still have it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it looked like they had a ton of them at Disney World.
Yeah, but their online shop, they be selling different shit. We went yesterday to go pick out our outdoor kitchen.
Oh, nice.
Grill and sink and all that shit.
Yeah, because we're getting close.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a totally realistic thing is for Lou and I to head down to watch the Steelers and Vikings at
Right?
your
We can go
house.
to like Circa or some shit, or yeah, we can do it in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like if we're gonna come down to like just hang out for the weekend, like
Yeah.
I
Why
mean,
not just sit around outside and
yeah,
fuck
I mean
off?
you'll have the TV and you'll have whatever. I mean I don't know, you have Cox or whatever, but I'll probably have a Sunday ticket, so we'll be able to watch it regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm a fucking sucker and I'm okay with paying $350. I'm not okay with paying $350 for it, but you know.
But you do it anyways, begrudgingly.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll be honest. Like a lot of it just depends on how many games are going to be like Monday or Thursday night games or like special games. Because if I mean you're talking a 17 game season, um, like if 4 or 5 of those games are going to be on, Christmas Day and Thursday night and a Monday night game, and then you're traveling. So, like they were saying, the schedule I think gets released next week.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They were saying the Vikings might actually go back to back with the international games because they play the Browns at the Browns, and then they play the Steelers at the Steelers, and they've already said that the home games for the Steelers are going to be like weeks 4 and 5. So like
Right.
the shitty part is the Vikings are going to go, if it pans out as the reports are saying, the Vikings are going to go international for 2 weeks and then have like a week 6 bye, which fucking sucks. Like having a week 6
Yeah.
bye is bullshit.
Right?
Especially with the length of the season now. Like so that would really suck, but it would be like that would be 2 more games that I'm going to just watch. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to watch them. They'll be on NFL Network, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
have to watch them. I don't have to have Sunday ticket for them. So you just go like, okay, I'm counting down. Like at what amount does it make it reasonable to?
When is my 350 worth it?
Right, exactly. So like last year,
Goddamn Loch Ness monster.
I think the Vikings had a Monday night game and like
Uh-huh.
a Thursday night game, and that was it. And I was like, oh, okay,
Right.
like I'm still getting 15 games of time. So,
Right.
but hopefully they don't raise the price. But who knows? They're fucking greedy. But I'll buy it right away because they give you like $100 off if you like pre-order it. So I'm guessing after the schedule, they'll start harassing me with emails and stuff saying, "Hey, the schedule's out." But I don't know. I mean, I think you're gonna actually. I think you guys are actually gonna be decent this year. So,
It seems like it. Like on paper, we got a decent quarterback. The new kids we drafted seemed all right. So we'll see.
You guys have Gino. Who's your
Yeah,
guys'
we got
Yeah,
Gino.
you got Gino.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
we got Gino.
Gino's not going to blow the doors off anything, but he's going to manage your game right. Like,
Exactly.
and he's a big upgrade over whatever the fuck you had last year. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
So, did you guys draft a quarterback or?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have to see.
Oh, it'll be fun times.
So, well, without Lou being here, I mean, I guess we could. Do we want to talk a little bit more about when we used to hang out and what we would do, and
we can. So, I mean, it came up last week a little bit with the wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know that I was watching a lot until we started hanging out. At that time, I don't think I was watching a lot. My stepbrother, I think, was watching it a little bit.
Well, your stepbrother had his whole. Your stepbrother had like a whole fucking federation and 100 figures, and
especially after we were into it more. Yeah.
Like he had like shit written down in a notepad that he was like doing like a SmackDown and a Raw like every week in his room, and that was that got a little weird, but
a little bit. But you know what?
I mean,
we're 40-year-old guys that buy Star Wars toys still.
That's fair.
So
fair. I'm not. Yeah, I guess I can't judge. But yeah, I mean, did you have any? Were you a wrestling person before we hung out ever? Like,
yes, when I was a kid, I used to watch it Saturday mornings or whenever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I would watch it with my dad.
Okay.
So I think that's why later on he was okay with buying us the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
He has money. He's like, yep, we used to do this when you were a kid. So, but yeah, no, like Lou was saying, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, all those dudes. We were also, my friends and I, we were also very fuck WCW. Because that's just how we were in the 90s. You had your thing.
Yeah.
Fuck the other guy.
Yeah.
You were Marvel or DC, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Like, It was weird. It was a weird thing where I think if you got into UFC, you were like super into UFC. But if you got into wrestling, but you couldn't get into wrestling because you're like, oh, wrestling is fake, blah blah blah. And then what's right? But then
Good job on the mute.
if you got like if you got into wrestling, like UFC just was like it wasn't like there wasn't a lot of like the pomp and circumstance that comes with watching wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really get that. It was just like,
Right.
oh, two guys who were going to fight each other, but there was no like you wanted a story or you wanted a reason for them to fight.
Right.
And cuz I would go, I mean, later when I moved back to Oregon, I went to a couple like UFC pay-per-view party things.
Right.
And I mean like
You're like, why are these guys fighting?
yeah, I need I need justification.
Did he fuck his wife? Or...
Who's the manager? What's going on? Is that the ring girl is just a ring girl? She's not a manager of one of the two guys? What's going on?
She's not involved in this at all?
Yeah. That's when does the belt get thrown into the ring for somebody to get hit?
Are there ladders?
Yeah. But then yeah, same here. Like I think Demolition, Ultimate Warrior, like that window of time.
Oh yeah. The like, Bushwhackers and Road Warriors, all that shit.
Young,
in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Like OG Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. The Rockers, Marty Jannetty.
Yeah. Roddy Piper.
Yep.
You know, this.
Yeah. So I mean, I was into all that, and my dad's like, this is fake, right? I'm like, for one, sir, lies. And he's like, and the guy doing the announcing right there, Vince, he owns it. I'm like, sir, yes, I am only 8 years old. I am not stupid. Why would the guy that owns the company be down there doing that bitch-ass job with the table getting broken in front of him? So I apologize, Father. I did not know everything when I was 8.
It's Mother's Day, but I'm sorry, Dad. But that we didn't even... like, I'm trying to remember what got us on the wrestling tip to begin with. But sorry, you were going to say.
I have no idea. But I would like keep up with it like here and there. I think that... Gosh, when we were in North Carolina, we would stay up to watch Raw because we were East Coast, so it was on later.
Yeah.
So sometimes we would stay up on Mondays to watch Raw. We weren't as into it, though. At that point, I think I had shifted my interest more into the video games and stuff, less TV. But I do remember staying up late to watch Raw once in a while. But yeah, us hanging out, I don't know why we started watching it. I don't know if we were just bored on
or we just
Monday,
happened to be like hanging out at the house one day and it was like, oh, the pay-per-view's on, or like your dad was like, I'm getting the pay-per-view, and we're like, okay. And then like
I don't know what triggered that at all.
But then like Stone Cold and The Rock and all that, like, then
that shit is still hilarious.
And then we're going to fucking 2 events in one week because we're going to
Raw
and SmackDown.
Raw and SmackDown
in the exact same seats. Like
I don't know. I mean, it's soap operas for dudes. That's you have to look at it that way.
Yeah,
they are really fighting, right? Like they're not trying to hurt each other, but there is a athletic aspect to this. They're not just actors out there.
There's a physicality to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's in some regards, I would say you could say that it's almost harder than just straight fighting because like you don't want to actually injure the other person. Right. So the stuff that you're doing, you have to make it look reasonably real. But then you also like don't want to like if you're if you're going to do a moonsault on a guy, you don't actually want to drive your knees into his chest, like that type of thing.
Yeah, because you got to fight him again on Thursday.
Yeah, and probably 2 times in between there at house shows,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember between that and WrestleMania 2000, I mean, we spent every month. It was like, okay, well, Sunday we're hanging out, and we'd get food, and we'd go back to the house, and we'd hang out, and the pay-per-view would be on. And I mean, I think that was like when Brock Lesnar first came on scene.
Yep,
I remember when he came out. Yep. The Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, which we fashioned all of our wrestling tag teams after.
Yep.
I think we used the 3D as our finishing move for.
Yep, we sure did.
For like
years.
Yeah, for the entire time, all the versions.
Yeah, it started with WrestleMania on Nintendo 64 all the way through PS2, Xbox.
Yeah,
one of the first couple iterations on
in
those.
Your house or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we spent weeks looking for WrestleMania 2000 because it was sold out everywhere. Do you remember we used to
Everywhere, dude.
drive?
I think I found it at some ghetto ass little mom and pop shop or some shit, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, we spent days driving
Yeah.
around, going to all the
Yeah.
Best Buy. Like we
Everywhere.
our like circle of what we were searching was like
Yeah.
all the Best Buys basically in LA, like all southeast LA was all the stuff
Yep.
that we would look for, all the way into
Yeah.
Orange County and everything. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like,
That was
sorry, sold out.
ridiculous.
Sorry, sold out.
Yeah. We finally got. We're like, hells yes.
And
Look
then
at the graphics on this; they're amazing.
yeah, and then we spent an hour creating our tag team, and
Yep.
we rode in on. Was that wasn't the one? I think it was later on when we could ride the Undertaker's bikes, and I had 2 bikes.
Yeah, I think that was SmackDown on the PlayStation. I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's when they started doing more of the actual video
Yeah,
entrances and stuff.
but yeah, we basically just ripped off the Dudley Boys for.
Yeah, we did. And then I think my finisher was Triple H's finisher.
The pedigree.
Yeah.
And I probably
a
just
good
stole
one.
the stunner, something simple like that.
Or Kane. You were super into Kane
yeah,
then,
I
too.
was into Kane, so
I
probably
think
had
it was the choke.
I probably did the choke
Yeah.
slam. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I don't know why I was into Kane, especially looking back now and looking at what he is, where he is, and mentally and position wise, just going like, wow, that was a choice. I guess when you're just a burned brother of the Undertaker, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't talk a lot about politics, so.
No.
But we were also
So
like,
that shit just all bubbles up in you.
yeah, I was watching. I mean, I see some of the stuff now, the YouTube videos where they talk about like the top 5 messed up things in wrestling from the 90s and 90s / early 2000s, and I'm just like, man, we could have really been messed up. Like we could have if
Yeah.
because some of those storylines, like. Yeah, like I mean, again, you spend this time and you go, oh my gosh, how did this generation get to this point, and how come guys feel so insecure and are so like blah blah blah, and you go, well, you look at like the media that we consumed. We had the Man Show, we had wrestling, we had all of these things that we did
hyper masculine,
right? But also we didn't know how to process them, right? Like I mean,
right.
we're all between 18 and 25 at that point, where like you're really figuring out who you are and what you do or what you're going to do, and all of that presentation was that girls were objects and girls girls were subservient and all of that kind of stuff. And unless you had like a decent upbringing, or at least a mildly healthy upbringing, like but again, I mean, you don't view women like that in general, and I don't feel like I do either.
No.
But a lot of people,
only
of guys,
when it's funny.
Yeah, but even then, like, you don't actually believe it, right? Like it being funny is one thing. But
if I slap her on the butt and say, "Go make me a sandwich," I don't actually expect a sandwich.
Right, and you do expect her to turn around and either punch you in the shoulder or slap you back.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like. It's funny to me because people are like, how did we get there? And you go, well, look at all the media we had to consume back then. Like it was all so hyper, I don't know what the word is, like hyper. I don't want to say like hypersexualized, because it was whatever. It was always, that was like the X, right? Everything had to have an X. Everything was extreme. Yep. But yeah, I mean, thinking back on wrestling, wow. Yeah, we could have both been really fucked up by that, but somehow we made it through without,
I think we didn't really latch onto those characters, though. Hey, look, we loved The Godfather and his hoe train, because that shit was funny as hell.
Right. Yeah.
But we were like, hells yeah, give me a bunch of hoes.
I need a hoe train. I mean, Val Venus and
we
his...
were into the fucking the Dudley Boys and DX and all that shit. We were in, like, Jericho, The Rock, Stone Cold. We were into the funny guys. We weren't, like, tripping on the dudes that were like that. Like, yes, it was funny watching Val Venus do his little porn dance and all that shit, but we weren't like, oh yeah,
I want to be.
That's who I want to be.
Val Venus. It was we want to be Jericho.
Yeah,
the day he showed up, and that was the thing, because we were only WWF guys. We weren't WCW guys at all. So when Jericho shows up, we have like no idea, and all of a sudden he just shows up, and we're like, oh my god, who's this guy? Right, like the countdown and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think even, when we would go to the Raw and SmackDown, and then it would be like, oh shit, Triple H is back. I think one of the Raws we went to, like, it was maybe after WrestleMania or whatever, and like Triple H came back from injury for the 12th or 13th time. Like, hearing that music,
yeah,
the first, like, when you hadn't heard it in person before, was always like,
right.
And Kane's fire, like the pyro, when you're on the opposite side of the arena.
I'm still regrowing my eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, but no, I mean,
it was a lot of fun live. Like, even as a kid, I never thought I would do that shit. Honestly, it's stuff you see on TV, right? Like, you're watching Double Dare and shit, and they're like, "Oh, we filmed this at Universal Studios in Florida." And you're like, "That'd be cool to go there someday." I mean, I never will, but it's just strange that, like, as a kid, you're like, "Nope, that shit'll never happen." But now I've been to Universal Studios. I've been to live wrestling and football and hockey and
football.
We just got back from fucking Japan. I mean, that stuff I never thought would happen when I was a kid.
I wish the timing would have been better, because I think it would have been cool to go to WrestleMania, but
Agreed. That shit was expensive as fuck, though.
Yeah, even for your first refusal tickets.
We just get dibs on it.
Oh,
so we
okay.
still have to pay all that. We just get to pay it first.
So the right of first refusal doesn't necessarily give you a discount. It just gives you...
No, it just means I get it first.
Okay. So, yeah.
Would I, though? When and if it comes back, I would very strongly consider it. Because it's just, like, even though I'm not super into it, I think I watched last year's a little bit when we were talking about it. We were texting about it. It's still fucking WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the spectacle, right? It's the granddaddy of all sports entertainment.
Yeah. It's like, I was into football when I was a kid, whatever. I'm not into it now, but I got to the fucking Super Bowl. It's just one of those things that it was your jam at one time, and there's still a part of you that wants to do that, right?
Because you never got to as a kid. Like,
exactly.
Would we go to Raw? Like, if Raw and SmackDown were coming back to... I mean, if I happen to be in Vegas, maybe.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, but it's also not...
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
I would also... Who the fuck is Cody Rhodes?
Was that? Just Cody Rhodes?
Who the fuck is Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. I remember Dustin Rhodes. I remember Goldust. Who is this? But yeah, like, I think, like, again, it's one of those, like, you only have one opportunity to go see it, right? Really, what it boils down to. So,
yeah, no, I would totally go. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're in Japan, so Japan or WrestleMania. I'm taking Japan.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, I would go. One of the guys at work went, and he had a blast. Like, he's still kind of into it, though. But I don't know. It looks fun. Again, like, even the fan experience thing that we did. We didn't go to WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
But we did the Fan Fest before.
Yeah.
Just like we never went to the Super Bowl, but we did the Fan Fest before.
Yeah. And we saw Lita, and we saw Trish Stratus, and we saw the car that Stone Cold filled with concrete.
Yeah, and I got to touch head, and then Al Snow almost killed me.
Yeah.
I still have not washed this hand.
Yes, I know.
It still smells like Al Snow.
It still smells like a job squad, a hand job squad. I mean, I kind of, like, it pops up in my YouTube feeds every once in a while, like the highlights. So I don't actually like watch the shows, but I'll watch like the 30 or 45 seconds that they post, just to kind of keep in touch.
I mean, I do know who Cody Rhodes is. I have a general idea of the storyline.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, now that WCW has kind of been replaced by proxy by AEW. But I mean, I pay attention to AEW a little bit because they have, they have a couple guys like MJF and stuff who still are. I think I consider them almost throwbacks, right? Like, because they're guys that you would be like, okay, like when you can find somebody who you're like, okay, this guy could fit into any generation, any wrestling generation, right? Like MJF, for me, MJF is definitely one of those guys that he knows how to work the crowd and have a good match with anybody, that you could put him back in the 80s and he would be the same, right? He could still
right.
sell whatever character he was, he was portraying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's the case anymore. I mean, John Cena turned heel, which is weird.
That was weird.
Yeah,
but
I mean that whole thing was very. I mean, I kind of was watching that because The Rock came back and was doing some stuff, and then he just disappeared, and but he was like the one that made John Cena turn heel, and then he disappeared, and John Cena's just there, like, oh, you guys all say I suck and don't appreciate me anymore, and you're just kind of like, but wait, why did you do that for The Rock then? Right. It's like Rikishi. I did it for The Rock.
Again, soap operas for dudes. That shit never makes sense.
Never. Nope.
How is The Undertaker dead? How did The Undertaker wrestle from when we were kids until 4 or 5 years ago?
And then he disappeared and then came back as a motorcycle wearing bandana, motorcycle riding bandana wearing.
And now he's just a dude that rides. He's a biker dude. He's not even dead anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit was very unbelievable, especially when they get to the supernatural stuff. But we fucking go with it, right? Because it was funny. The fights were entertaining. Somebody's getting their face put in Rikishi's butt.
Yeah. Well, again, but I mean, we would watch. I mean, I'm sure we watched the first TLC match together. You know?
Yeah.
And then all of those that came up after that. I mean, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, all those guys, you know. So
cheering them on till they bleed.
Yeah. My obsession with Molly Holly.
Them boots.
But I mean, we were both hung up on Lita for quite a while.
I
mean, even today, she's not too shabby.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's kept in good shape.
Yeah, she has.
Who do I see a lot? Oh, I think I follow Stacy Keibler on Insta. She still looks good.
Yeah, Miss Hancock. that was her WCW name. Not wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No.
But we, I mean, those were some good times.
It was fun.
Yeah. It was
something
a nice
aside from Star Wars.
It was a nice. Yeah, I mean, we even had quite a few wrestling figures.
Yeah. I don't know if I even still have any.
I
think we all gave them to my stepbrother.
Yeah, I think.
No, we're done with them, bro.
Yeah, we're over it. Here you go. Have fun making your Federation.
Here's
bigger.
Our entrance dude when they had the little metal things on their feet and you put them on the entrance thing and it plays their music. That was cool. And we're like, they're using a Gentle Giant and they're real 3D scanning their faces. They look so good.
Yeah. They look way better than they did before. But I mean, the chairs and the table, how we would just pop because they'd be like, oh, they put a trash can in as an accessory.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can finally recreate this match.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a nicer version from Star Wars because I mean that was the majority of the stuff that we shared, you know.
Right. And I've had this conversation with Lou because he's got people that only hit him up at Celebration. Like, hey, I need Star Wars stuff. I'm like, and that's all they ever talk about is Star Wars. I'm like, how can you be friends with someone if that's the one thing you have in common, right? We wouldn't be friends fucking almost 30 years later if all we had was Star Wars, right? I mean, you have to have more than just one thing in common.
Yeah. But I mean, the nice thing about our relationship was that it evolved because it started out from you guys should hang out because you both like Star Wars.
Right.
To when we started hanging out all the time, it became about more than that. It became about music. It became about wrestling. It became about, just stuff going on in life, And I think since both of us were kind of in a position where we didn't have a ton of other friends and our families were kind of there, but, doing their own thing.
We were emo Gen X kids and we're just like, I hate everybody.
Yeah. But
except this guy, he's all right.
But yeah, I mean, that was what it really boiled down to is we were just kind of, I think we Star Wars was kind of the foundation of our relationship, but we were able to build, a pretty decent house around it after
exactly.
that,
Yeah.
And even when we would lose touch for windows of time, it didn't, we'd start talking and it would be just like we talked, the last weekend, there was never There was never a time where it was like, who is this guy?
It was like uncomfortable. We're like, oh, hey, you remember me?
Yeah.
We
Hey,
used
what's
to
up?
live together
Yeah.
and hang out sometimes.
Yeah. Once in a while. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not friends with somebody for 30 years and not have more in common, you know. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
we've had some heavy conversations
Oh
over
yeah, for
time.
sure.
You
I
know,
mean, dude,
depending.
like we've honestly grown up together,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we were both pretty much teenagers when we met, and now we're old.
Yeah. Well, cuz when we met, you were already working at
Uh-huh.
the warehouse. You already had your
Uh-huh.
warehouse job because you'd been
Yeah.
there forever since you'd met Stacy or your significant other, right? Because you'd
Since
met
I
her.
graduated high school, yeah. So 98. I'd been there about a year probably.
Yeah. But I mean,
Almost a year by the time.
you were like dialed in. Like cuz when I
Yeah.
came and would, you know, help out, like you were always
Yeah.
super dialed in.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean, when they were like, "Oh, you guys should hang out," and like I was working at Petco, I think at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was working graveyards.
Yep. So
But
I
then
remember she was bringing me home one night. She's like, "Oh, I gotta go pick up Duke." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah, that was yeah, those were the days.
Right.
Oh Lord. But
Speaking of which, she needs $5,000 to buy a car because her transmission went out.
too bad. Womp womp. I'm
And those are
surprised.
the
I don't
voicemails that got
understand why you
left all
guys haven't
weekend.
changed your numbers.
I can't change it for one person.
Yes,
Maybe.
yes, you can. I think you are proving that yes, you can. Well, I thought she had stopped reaching out to you. So
She
we're
did for
talking
a
about
little
my
bit.
ex right now.
Yeah.
I thought
She did for a
after
little
she had
bit.
kind of stopped, like your wife had blocked her and that type of thing. Like
She does like VoIPs or some shit, like ghosts her, so just different phone numbers just call. And their dumbass leaves voicemails.
dodged a bullet there, my friend.
Yeah, he
Dodged a
did.
bullet there.
It was like Neo dodging like 30 bullets.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I just thought it was hilarious. Like, I think it was one of the first. So after we broke up, and I moved back up, or I had like, I mean, I stayed there for quite a few years after. Was it
Yeah.
when you guys moved to Vegas?
It would have been 05. Were you still at grandma's then?
I mean, I was back and forth with grandma's, but I'm trying to figure out when we kind of lost touch, and I think it was when you guys moved to Vegas.
Probably for a little bit,
And
yeah.
then like we circled back like a year or two later to just kind of like touch base because that's what we would do is during that time it's kind of
Right.
every 6 to 8 months we'd be like, "What's up, bro?" Like,
Because back then, kids, you had to pay for text
yeah,
messages.
yeah. It was, or you were limited. You only got like 200.
Yeah.
Um, but I think one of the first stories you told me was that she was dating like you were like, "Oh, you remember your ex?" And I went, "Yes." And you were like, "Oh, she's dating a guy who collects Hot Wheels." And we just thought that was the most hilarious shit ever because we used to fucking clown the Hot Wheels guys every time we would go and hang out and go
Mm-hmm.
toy hunting because those
Yep.
guys were dicks. All those
Yeah, they were.
they were
Yeah.
fucking douchebags.
And then when they didn't get Hot Toys, they stole our Star Wars toys.
Yeah. Yeah,
So they could
they'd run in and
flip
go
them. And
through all their they'd look real quick to see if the Hot Wheels had been refreshed. And if they
mm-hmm.
hadn't, then they would start going to other places to get toys to flip. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, those guys were assholes.
Yeah, they were.
So that was side tangent. That was hilarious when you were like, she's dating a guy that I remember that
The Hot
conversation
Wheels guy.
so clearly. She's dating a guy who collects Hot Wheels, and I was like, what? And we're like, yeah, downgrade.
Yeah, major downgrade. From Star Wars Geek.
But yeah, and now look at us. We're going to fucking
Yep.
Japan together.
Right?
I don't think we would have had this conversation in '99.
No. It was surprising enough we even made it to Indiana together for free.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I mean, at least that was in America. International travel?
Good
Yeah.
fucking luck.
20-year-old me wouldn't know how to get a passport. I'd be like,
Yeah, no shit.
don't you have to go to the post office for that or something?
Maybe. Is there a special office for it? What's this real ID? What are you talking about, real ID? It's 1999. But yeah. it's pretty. I mean, again, when you guys had been dating for like a year or something when I got involved, right? Like it was maybe a year, maybe a year and a half.
97-ish, year and a half, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember when I got invited to Christmas by Stacy's or your wife's parents, and that was really awkward because my ex wasn't there, but it was still awkward,
Right.
because we were like expecting her to show up, because we were like, wait, what's
Right.
your wife's parents? Why are they inviting me over? Oh, we really liked you. Did you? Because you never really gave me the impression that you did. Like,
look, it was her.
Yeah.
Even my wife has been like, you know what, Duke's all right when he's not around her. She's like, maybe it was her the whole time, and it wasn't Duke. Maybe Duke doesn't suck as much as I thought.
And that's really saying something, because she thinks everybody fucking sucks.
She does. She's texting me now about how our little one sucks.
You're like, wait, you made that.
Right?
This is on
That's
you.
your fault.
You contributed to this happening.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know all the shit that she's been through? I don't know if you were around for all of it, but she's seen some shit. More shit than any of us have. Like, our life has not been easy.
Right? Well, now her tummy hurts, and she wants to sleep on the couch.
Okay. Well, have fun sleeping on the couch. She just wants to be on the couch so when you come back in the house,
exactly,
she can be like, oh,
Daddy's here. Come tuck me.
Yeah. I was trying to think if there was any like other good stories from. I mean, we made like stupid decisions when we would drive around, like when we went through like Compton, because we thought we'd be cool,
right?
Because we both like rap music at the time.
We're like, hey, let's go to Greenleaf, see if their fucking heads are cut off. They're like, oh, it's gonna be our heads.
Hey, it's the Compton car wash. Nope, don't slow down. Just keep. Oh, did we lock the doors? Yes, the doors are locked. They were not fucking around.
No.
But in all the music videos we saw, everybody was on the street having a party. What's going on?
Right. Where's the barbecue at?
Yeah, exactly. People wheeling out barbecues and shit. We were
going to be the cool white guys.
Yeah. Pre-Slim Shady.
Yeah. We were proto Eminem.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, good times. I mean, the funny part is like those types of things I couldn't imagine like us doing now.
No, God no.
You know, like if I moved to Vegas or you moved up here, like if we lived in the same city, like I couldn't imagine like going to your house like early Sunday morning for us to just drive around
and look for toys.
I mean, again, the world has changed, right? Stuff isn't the same, but like, yeah, I mean, like back then, I think it was nice to kind of have a routine and have a, but today I would be like, nah, son, I'm gonna stay home. Like,
yeah, order that shit online.
Yeah, I'm tired.
You want to split a case? I'll buy a case. You can give me half.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've done a few times. Hey, Indiana Jones. Okay, well, you just got to buy this one figure. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we did that with all 3 waves of the Indiana Jones figures, right? Like,
yeah. I think we took
turns on the
waves and
I like put a box in a bag and brought you like the ones that
yeah.
But I had them like all packed with like a towel wrapped around them to make sure the boxes, even though you were just going to take them out of the boxes anyway.
Exactly.
But
yeah. But you never know.
Yeah. But that was a toy line that was super disappointing that they didn't keep it going. But
yeah, I mean,
you froze.
Could have used like.
Okay.
You did too. We both froze.
Ooh, I wonder where that's gonna show up. The AI is gonna have to fix it.
Right.
Yeah, there was. I think there was quite a few figures that they could have filled in that they didn't.
Definitely a Molar ROM.
Yeah, like, they completely skimped out on Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
they could have had they could have had the little boy, because we got Short Round, so they could have had the little prince with the fucking monkey brain bowl.
Yep.
And the little indie voodoo doll.
Yep.
But
yeah, they could have done so much more.
But I mean,
so much more.
But it's always funny for me to hear that stuff where they just go like, "Oh, this line didn't do well." Well, you didn't fucking promote it at all. Like I never saw anything on any of the websites or anything, and I never saw
Nope.
anything on Instagram or like any of that stuff. Like,
Nope. Like if you wanted them, they were there.
well, like you were like, hey, there's an Indiana Jones line, and like I had to go look for it, and I was like, this one, and you're like, no, that's like the vintage figure line, which was a
No.
completely
I was
different
like,
thing.
it's like Black Series, like
Yeah,
the big ones.
yeah. And they were pretty reasonably priced too, if I remember. They were only like,
Yeah, they were horrible.
if you bought a case, it was only like $12 or $14, which isn't terrible.
Yeah,
because I think the Black Series, the Star Wars ones, are like 18 to
yeah,
20
they're pushing
bucks now,
20
right?
now.
Like,
yeah,
and they're going to go up even more now because tariffs.
Ugh. I know. I was reading about Funko. They're like, yep, come July, Funko's just regular Funko's going to be $15. I'm like, I'll catch you on the sales, bro.
But again, I mean, Funko's been hemorrhaging money for a while. I saw some, and I'm guessing that's why they're not coming to Comic-Con, because they're doing their own thing that weekend before or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like they're doing something at the Hollywood Funko, I think I read. So they're still doing like Funkaville, but it won't be at Comic-Con.
Right.
And they'll probably still have a small booth or something. I would imagine they would have some representation at Comic-Con, but it won't be
the whole corner of the convention hall.
Yeah. That was pretty obscene last year, though.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Yeah, the last couple years, freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I started tripping out when I got that email about the badge, and I was like, wait a second. I didn't buy one.
Is this an auto renew?
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't got $350 for that right now. But it all made sense when you told me, so I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we could have put our names on them, but we don't want to lose the early pre-reg. So we're like, well, what if we do that? And then we can, swap a little easier.
Yeah.
Get in Wednesday night for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I might, there's never say never, but worst case, I'll come down for a long weekend. And now at least I know that if I want to, I can, like one day or whatever. But I also know for like the Roosevelts and stuff, you guys got me covered. So.
Oh yeah, that's done deal.
I need to get some more Marvel ones. I realized when we went and saw Thunderbolts, the only Marvel one I have is the Deadpool and Wolverine. And I was like, oh, I wore that, and everybody was like, oh, that's a cool shirt. But I was still kind of like,
it wasn't quite MCU though.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
I have a couple. I got the Marvels. I have a couple Marvel Zombie ones, and I got the Sam Wilson Captain America full panel one. I don't know if I have more than that though. I mean, obviously the Deadpool from
Comic-Con.
But
yeah.
I don't think I have a lot more though.
Do I have? I don't think I have more Star Wars shirts than you. No, I don't think I'm in your realm for the Star Wars Roosevelts yet.
No, I have a ridiculous amount.
Yeah. Yeah, you sent like a picture of your closet at some point, right?
Yeah.
Because I had been like, I have like 9 of them, and you're like, hold my beer.
That's cute.
I've been collecting.
I'm like this month.
Yeah, you're like OG. You're like OG Roosevelt's guy. I came to the game really late. But I mean, they are really nice. I mean, if you can find prints that you like and stuff. The problem is that so many of them have that chaotic print that just drives Lou crazy. That, yeah.
He likes the ropers though. He likes getting his cowboy on.
Nice. Yeah. And I mean, that's, but those are always like, they always have the stuff at the top, but they're always like solid color.
Yeah.
Instead of like, here's 8 million headshots where he's just like, my brain.
His eye starts twitching.
Yeah.
He looks you directly in the eye when you're wearing that shirt. Like sometimes you don't always make contact with people when you're talking. No, he's directly in your eye the whole time.
Oh man. So is Lou watching? Are you watching Last of Us?
I have not started it yet. Maybe after Andor. Is it over yet or soon?
No, I mean we're only 5 episodes. I think this week is episode 5, so you're only 5 episodes behind.
Yeah, no, I'm like, my mornings are weird lately, so I'm still. It's almost done, but the garage at the old house is almost done, so close. It's been hot as fuck.
Well, it's supposed to cool down though. The stuff that I was looking at was saying like mid-80s.
I hope so. Oh yeah. When you coming out, like Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be there Friday through Sunday. So it'll be 84 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And nice.
74 on Sunday, it says.
And night. I mean, it looks like even the evenings are going to be nice.
Yeah, it's down to the 60s at night. So yeah, no, you'll be fine. You You're staying at a hotel this time, though,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Camp EDC or whatever the fuck it is.
Hotel EDC
Hotel
this
EDC.
time. So,
yeah.
Did we talk about the Prince? The Kincaid Gallery?
Oh.
We not really, right?
No, not super. But I have it. It was right here, right next to me.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's
Fancy.
Lou's, right? Or
No, this one is mine.
Okay.
Lou got the same one though.
Oh, okay. I know. I looked at all those pictures because there was a lot of options, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were a little overwhelmed when you walked in there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that one's nice. Oh, so is that one. Oh, what about that one? How about that one?
But like Thomas Kincaid is more just like now at this point, it's like an art style, right? Like because he doesn't.
It's a studio. It's a studio.
But he doesn't do all the stuff. It's a bunch of other people that do his style of art, right? Like,
yes. Yeah. It's a studio. I don't even know if he's still alive, honestly.
I would be surprised. But
Thomas Kincaid. Let's see. Nope, my man died in 2012.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm sure his family. But I mean, he was famous for doing like pictures of buildings and like landscapes and shit like that. So when you were like, "Hey, they have like Star Wars art here," and I was like, "What?" And then you sent like 10 pictures, and I was like, "What the fuck is all this?" Like,
yep.
Like the Chewbacca one, I looked at that and I was like, "Wait, he's on Hoth and he's not covered in snow." Like that's some bullshit, right? Like that's how much of a nerd I am. I'm like, "Oh, Chewbacca! Right. Oh shit, he's not covered in snow. Fuck that."
Nope. I like white Chewbacca.
Yeah, put him on Tatooine, and then we could talk. But if you're gonna put him on Hoth and just have him standing there like he's afraid of the trash compactor, nah, son.
Right. Yeah, no, they actually have them online too.
Oh yeah.
Because I looked later, I was like, oh, I wonder if they have it on there. But yeah, and they do. It's all very like the ones with the lightsabers on them. They paint them in such a way it looks like they're actually lit up. Just it's amazing how they painted them.
Nice. So that Vader is from Empire Strikes Back, I'm guessing, or representing
Obi-Wan.
The one you bought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it was his castle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Shuttle Tadirium, right?
Yes.
The interior. I mean, it was Chewbacca, and I was like, okay.
Exactly. Front and center.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's also all of them, right?
Exactly.
I don't know if that'll go up in my living room. I might have to find somewhere else to put it. Because the size is going to be it's going to be weird. Because I think it's a lot smaller than the other prints that I have.
Likely. It's a pretty good size. Yeah, the Vader is titled Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darkness Has Arrived. So, yeah.
Hopefully mine's named Fly Casual.
It is called Strike Team? Yes, Strike Team.
Should be Endor Strike Team if they I believe in the movie it's the Endor Strike Team, right?
Right.
But
nerds.
Fucking Thomas Kincaid. What a prick.
Right? Can we
So was your older one excited about the studio and everything?
It's not really. It's the Kincaid is a studio. It's a company now, right?
Yeah. So but they're in that same area, right? They're in that same.
It's an art store. We check out. It's like if you go into Disneyland and you're on the right, like there's the bathroom that everybody uses right there. It's that first store right there, right next to the Abraham Lincoln thing.
So it's different than the Disney Animators one.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I thought it was the same thing, and like they had just taken over that kind of the sales.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they like they do for like special events. Like they get rid of all their inventory and they only have Kincaid stuff there. They've done it a couple times since we've been there. But otherwise they just have like the regular Disney prints and stuff in there.
We've probably been in there before, and they have a small Star Wars section usually, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
But this one was the majority of the store was Star Wars.
Yeah, because I mean it was May the 4th weekend, so
yeah.
I think he said the next one they're doing is for the 70th.
So we had a couple years for that.
Crazy. No, that's this year. 70th of Disneyland.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
Or Disney.
Okay, yeah.
Disney or Disneyland?
Probably Disneyland, because Disneyland's the OG one, right?
Yeah, everything's old.
Yep. So is us.
But
yeah, I don't know. Besides that, anything going on this week?
My wife is graduating. She's
getting
a master's degree.
Yeah. And is she going to move on
Friday?
To grad school, or is she done with her?
No, she is This is so that she can be a principal at school.
Oh, okay. So she's moving up in the
Yeah.
world.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
It at least gets her more money. Like, it changes her column
Yeah.
advancement.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Is she still at that same place? The private school?
No, God, no. She has been there since... She only taught there for like 2 years, dude.
Okay.
She's been a
Well,
public school teacher.
I don't think we've talked about her work in a while.
No.
I remember us
she...
having the conversation when your little one was little. So we had like gone to like Walmart or some shit.
Right. Yeah, no, she's been a public school teacher since my oldest was born.
Okay. Maybe it was your oldest was, but
yeah.
No, that's cool.
So I told her she had to stay at her school now until little one gets out of 5th grade.
Okay. But she can still be the principal of said school.
She could be if they had an opening. Yeah. I had assistant principal. She has to be assistant principal. She can be an actual principal. But it'll also get her like other, like she could do other admin stuff like for the district.
Sure.
So
how is there like a concern? How much of... I haven't really talked to anybody who's like a school teacher or anything. Like all the changes that have been going on in the federal government, has any of the stuff affected her?
No, not so far.
Okay.
The special ed stuff, because they moved it. Like they got rid of the Department of Education, but they didn't get rid of our student loans. They didn't get rid of like the special ed programs. They just gave them to other people. So it's still there, but they just got rid of it. So they look like they're doing something, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrestling, Linda McMahon was in charge of all that shit.
Yeah, she was. Talk about somebody who sounds dumb as shit, but
stay in your lane, woman. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Why don't you go worry about your husband raping people?
Yeah, exactly. About your husband making out with people while you're in a catatonic state.
So, with that being said, I have to go to her graduation. I couldn't get the day off. I couldn't shift trade. So, I am adjusting to the 6 a.m. shift. I have to start work at 6 a.m. on Friday.
Ugh.
And then I got lunch at the end, so I'm out at like 3:45.
Okay.
But gross.
Yeah, that's a long day, dude. You were going to be beat up on Friday night.
Yeah. Okay, you're graduated. Okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Well, because you'll have to work until like 11 o'clock the night before, right?
Yeah. Well, no, 9.
9. Okay.
I'll get off at 9.
So you'll get home at 10, go right to bed, be up at 5.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ugh. Rough.
Yeah.
Sacrifices
you make. Things you do. Better be appreciated.
What'd you guys do for Mother's Day today?
She wanted to go to Dutch Brothers because they had Mother's Day stickers. They were out, so we didn't go to Dutch Brothers. We went to go see my mom for a little bit in the hospital. And then she took a nap. She napped for Mother's Day. We tried to go to a hibachi place. And it was like 4-ish. I'm like, how long for 4 people? He's like, 8:30. I'm like, nah, bruh. Deuces.
Wow.
So we went to Lazy Dogs.
Nice. Where you walked right in? Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
Wish her a happy Mother's Day for me.
Will do. Yeah, no, that was it. I got her the Darth Vader Starbucks tumbler from the Revenge of the Sixth drop from Disney. And it actually showed up in time to give it to her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good shipping then.
Nobody's talking to you, Alexa.
Dang, know your lane.
Right? Nobody's talking to you, woman. Get my my 90s wrestling persona on. Know your role and shut your mouth.
I think this week is pretty quiet, but it'll be prepping for traveling. Yeah, I'll be home. We go to EDC. We'll be back one weekend, and then the following weekend we drive to Seattle to see a concert.
Who are you seeing?
They're called Two Friends.
Never heard of them.
They're electronic music, which is probably why you haven't heard of them. But they put on a pretty good show. But then after that,
important.
Nothing in the pipe till December. I might go to New Orleans in October. We'll have to see how the finances work out. But yeah, the next one will be. I might come down for like the long weekend over Comic-Con for the long,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a lot. We're going to go see Lou in June.
Nice.
That'll be our summer trip since we already spent all our vacation money on Japan.
How long are you guys going to go see Lou for?
I don't know. I mean, I have a week off at the end of June.
Okay.
But to knock a thing off of wife's birthday list or
Bucket list.
bucket list, she wants to go to all the state capitals.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
So are you gonna my map, my globe is not here right now, but it's like one state over, right? So you're like, boom, Colorado, or do you have?
God no. No, it's like between here, we can either go up like through Utah or Arizona, New Mexico.
Okay, which ones do you need to see for those? Are you gonna go to those state capitals as well?
Actually, we've been to all of those.
Okay.
Another thing, because obviously we spent all that time in freaking Arizona,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
99% sure we've done New Mexico because I think that's Santa Fe.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
I
right.
remember going there because they have like the trains and the hot air balloons and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So I'm like 99% sure we've done that one. And I know we did Salt Lake City because I have a SL, UT magnet.
UTI? SO? Your SO gave
SL,
you a UTI?
UT. I'm like, why does all this stuff up here say slut? I'm like, I get it. SL, UT. So yeah, I bought all that shit. I got all the slut stuff.
Nice.
And that was cool too because it was before we had our second kid, and the older one was still little, and she watched a show called Dinosaur Train on PBS, and whatever happy feely dinosaur stuff, right? PBS educational shit. But they would have intermissions, and there was this paleontologist that would tell them about real dinosaurs, and that's his museum. So we got to go to his museum when she was still into that stuff.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool.
And now she's just into the post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, now she's into
dinosaur
destroying
stuff.
the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Fallout Season 2 wrapped production, so I guess that's good.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I saw a picture of Walton pulling off his makeup.
He was on SNL last night.
He was. I watched his one of his monologues about his sex symbol stuff.
Yeah, he was reading the headlines.
He's like, the word I'm most part about this one I'm most offended about is the use of the word whom. What kind of pretentious shit is that?
And to think, like, 20 years ago, when he was fucking Shane
on the Shield.
Yeah. Like, isn't that wild? Like we knew him fucking back in the day.
Right. And I can agree. His hairline has always been there.
Yes, exactly. Even as Shane, as a 20-year-old man, his hairline is exactly the same. Yep. It has not moved. Verified.
He didn't have money to fake it back then.
Nope. No, he did not. Regardless of how many piles he stole from the Armenian mob.
I should make my wife watch that.
The Shield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never met her go through it. I tried to get her to watch Justified. I think we watched like the first couple, and then we got distracted. The only one of those FX shows I actually got her to watch was Rescue Me. Oh, and Sons of Anarchy. We watched that one too. Which also had Walton.
Yeah.
Venus Van Dam.
Venus Van Dam. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch. I'm going to probably rewatch The Shield. I started doing a rewatch of Lost, but then like everybody was like, "Oh, why are you watching that? It was a bad show." I'm like, it wasn't a bad show.
It had a bad season when the writer's strike happened. It's not my fault you jumped ship then.
But again, people are haters, right? So that's what we have established. I think. If there's nothing else that you've learned from this podcast, you know that people are haters.
Yep. They just want to jump on the bandwagon,
right, Lou?
And hate.
I'm speaking to Lou right now, who's listening to this.
He's hitting the like and subscribe right now.
Yeah, hit like and subscribe. But yeah.
All right, well,
I think that's it.
Wrap it up. I guess Lou decided that he didn't want to join us 45 minutes late.
Yeah. Did he even say anything?
Whatever.
He hasn't even said anything.
No. He didn't send us pictures of nobody. He didn't tell us any updates.
Yeah.
About how he misses us and that he wishes he was doing the podcast instead of hanging out with people.
Yeah. In real life, like talking to them. Like,
gross. Like you have to smell them.
Yeah.
Gross. Ugh.
And like actually like look them in the eye or the
Right?
shirt.
Listen to them talking and chewing and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Ugh.
actually having to respond to what they're saying.
Right? What if somebody next to him is drinking milk or something?
What if they're one of the people they're hanging out with likes to drink milk?
Yeah. And they start laughing and just sprays everywhere. You know where that wouldn't happen? If he was at home on the podcast.
Yep, exactly.
Now he's covered in milk.
Yep. It's better than milk, though. I'd rather be covered in
This
milk
is
than
true.
milk.
Yeah, this is true. Stay out of the ocean.
I'm talking about fish eggs and or milk. Like, hey, we almost made it an hour and a half, and I don't think it was a bad podcast.
You know what, though? I'm not mad about it because our subscription is not renewing until 11 days, and well, you know what? We still have 6 hours left, so no, I think we'll be all right. Oh, no. We have 2.5 hours left.
Oh, perfect. So we have
and
one
it
more.
Doesn't renew until the 23rd. So, yeah, if we can keep, if this edits down to an hour, I'll be happy. As will my bank account. It's not a lot when you go over, but it's not nothing.
Yeah, it's you know, hey, if no reason to.
Exactly.
You know, for the 11 people watching or listening.
Yeah. Let's start a Patreon or something.
What would we offer for the Patreon? Like we'd have to start doing multiple podcasts.
Right? We'll do topless podcasts.
Oh, the bottom has dropped out again. We were doing really good. Yeah, our hot tub. Well, once the pool gets done, we can start doing hot tub podcasts.
We'll start doing hot tubs.
4 episodes have been fire in the last 30 days. Oh no, they're just happy that we've released 4 podcasts.
Right. Like, you go, boys, you go.
Yeah. Nobody's listening, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Still sad when I click on monetization. It's just like, no.
Not yet. Not yet, sirs. Not yet.
Not that we need that or want that, but
no. Would I be mad about it though? No,
not at all.
I'd be all right. No.
Well, again, it would all just go right back into the podcast.
Yep.
So it wouldn't, you know, last 30 days.
Basically.
I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't. Okay, first 7 days of the last 20 episodes. No, I was looking at. It's weird because I don't know, the page that shows all the stats and stuff is weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because like some of them are all time, but then some, like, it makes you feel better because you're like, oh yeah,
right.
But then you're like, oh, that's all time versus like the 4 people that have downloaded your last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that nostalgic flicks and bumpin' uglies. That one back on March 4th, episode 1 of season 2.
It bombed.
No, it was 22 downloads, bruh.
Oh, all right.
Right?
Wow, that's crazy considering how recent it was.
Right? It's like, I'm just going to call every episode 1 because our first episode had 35 downloads. So I think people are just looking for the first episode of everything and just downloading it. So I'll just tell everybody it's our first episode.
First episode of season 2. Season 3, episode 1.
We'll be on season 35 here in a minute.
No shit. Yeah, we're at season 52, episode 1.
But we've only been on air for 2 years.
Let's see. Where were those people from? The United States. We got 3 people from Japan. Ukraine. We still getting people from the Ukraine. Again, I'm going to go with those are North Korean soldiers that are just happy to be listening to podcasts.
Right.
France. We got some France representation. What's up, France?
Yeah.
Bangladesh.
Bonjour.
Australia and Germany. Nice. Nagoya. 3 people in Nagoya. 3 people in Paris. I wish it would give us more detail than this. I want to know who these people are. People, you need to say something. Right. We want to know who you are. We're not trying to be assholes and be like, subscribe and like and chat, but we just want to know, like, hey, again, I think we said that on the first episode was like, hey, like,
what do you want to hear from us?
What are we doing that works and what are we doing that doesn't? We want to make a better podcast. We don't want to be just like every other 3 guys who are just fucking nerds podcast. Like, we'd like to be better.
Right? We can talk about everything.
We are very well read. I mean, the people on the podcast right now are really well read. The other one of us,
he's all right,
and he's not here to get all twisted about it. We'll hear about it next week, though.
Yeah, he'll be on here like Gwen Stefani. I heard that you were talking shit, and you didn't think that I would hear it.
And then I'll be like, that shit is bananas. BANANANS. Shit.
All
All right,
right.
sir.
No, we should all be back next week. So
Nope, we won't be.
we'll
Because
continue. Oh, we won't be.
I will be at
Oh yeah, you'll be here.
BDC. So it'll be the two of you
Yep.
having to clean up my
Dang.
mess.
So Celebration Japan stuff will still be delayed another week. Aren't you guys lucky?
Actually, you know what? we might play that by ear.
Okay.
So, well, we got to hear about your Disney trip too. So maybe next week you two can talk. If I don't join you, you can talk about Disney.
Oh, that's
and
true.
how
That's
your
true.
experience. Well, you can talk about Hello Kitty Land and your experiences after I dipped on you guys.
That's true. That's true.
Because you have like
All
another 5 days to talk about after I left.
Yeah.
So we've basically told the story, excluding
Of how we were
Celebration.
together. Yeah, I think Lewis needs to talk about World's Fair.
Yeah.
I talked about Hello Kitty already.
Yeah, but we can talk about World's
Fair.
Fair.
But yeah, no, we can talk about. Did we talk about Shibuya and all that already?
No,
yes, we did. Because we talked about Donkey.
Oh yeah.
How you didn't get to go to the Crossy Walk and the Mega Donkey Quixote.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think we just have Disney and the flight home left. And maybe we'll cover that, and then you can listen to it. And
yeah, and then the following week we can get into Celebration.
Get back to
and start
normal.
giving our criticisms and the good and the bad and the ugly.
Yeah, and get back to our regular pop culture, Andor and all that bullshit. Andor will be super over by then.
Yeah, actually, Wednesday we are me and my two buddies that joined us in Japan. Their
watch party.
Yeah, we're doing a finale watch party and rolling right into Rogue One. So we'll watch the 10 and 11, and then we'll watch 12 together, and then watch Rogue One together, just to see how. But then I'm like, but if we're gonna watch Rogue One, then that ties to A New Hope, so then we got to watch A New Hope, like
right.
It never ends.
Nope.
So, but yeah,
it'll be time to catch your flight to EDC by the time you're done.
No shit, huh? What'd you do? Oh, I watched all 9 Star Wars movies. Did you pack anything to go? Nope, it's just me.
No,
I didn't have time.
Yeah.
Getting the credit card out to buy clothes.
I'll buy something there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
They have clothes in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I think that'll work. So next week, guys, spoilers.
Yeah, we'll do our Disney.
Talk about Disney. Talking about Tokyo Disney, the differences.
Yeah.
One of us on the podcast is very, very, very experienced at Disneyland. So it'll be I'll be interested to hear what you thought as far as the differences and the atmosphere and that type of thing, because you're very familiar with.
Show.
Yeah. So, but everyone have a good week.
Deuces.